Imagine waking up one day and realizing that version of your life where you're finally ready doesn't really exist. And it's just a destination. We spend so much of our lives waiting for that fear to go away. That fear that's stopping us from starting the next project or fixing our health or taking that big adventure. But here's the weird thing that I'm starting to kind of realize, because I too have those fears. I'm starting to realize that the fear doesn't really go away. There's no place for it to go. It's just part of you. It's part of the human experience, part of worrying that you're gonna make a fool of yourself, part of worrying you're not gonna do it right. It's part of you. So it doesn't ever go anywhere. But what I think happens when I take a look at people who are doing the kind of things that I strive to do, when I sit down and I analyze them as best as I can, because I'm not a psychologist, I think fear just gets outvoted. I think I think the more you do and your standards start to rise, your fears don't really have a vote in the conversation anymore. They get outvoted by all the awesome feelings you have of the things you want to do, and you don't even listen to fear. If you don't know, I'm Michael, and I'm on a journey to rebuild my life in my 50s, and I'm trying to work on my health and find purpose and seek adventure and just have that kind of life I've always wanted to have. So today, I think we're going to talk about what I just recently realized is that your life only changes when your standards change. Yeah, and until your standards change, fear is always going to be there. And I think that's a key part of me trying to build this life I really want to live. And I hope this is helpful to you as well. I'm going to say something that might be a little controversial. And I don't mean to pick on anybody, because I know we all have different life experiences and traumas and different responsibilities and all that. And we all have different starting points and all that. But what I'm starting to realize, and I do really believe this is true, and it's not meant to hurt anybody or insult anybody, but I think when people say they're waiting to be ready, is just a really polite way of saying they're paralyzed. And I know this because I think I've spent years in that exact same mindset or loop. I really believe I have. Again, I'm not a doctor or a psychologist. I'm just doing some self-evaluation here. And I think I have spent years in that loop of being like, oh, I'm gonna do it, but when I have everything perfect and ready. I would do the typical things like say, oh, I'm gonna start that health journey when life slows down or I'm not so busy. Or I'm gonna do that adventure when my daughter is older or there's more money or things are quiet at work. But the truth? When you get to your 50s, that clock starts to sound different. For me, that clock is really sounding different these days. I actually read something a little while ago, which is what prompted me to make this video. And one of the key points the person who wrote the article was saying is that at some point you realize fear is the one that's holding the pen that's writing your life or writing your journey. For me, one of the things I've realized is that my standards are slipping or have slipped. My fear of looking silly or not being quite ready or not kind of having it perfect is really holding me back. The truth is, I started to accept being tired and busy as my baseline. I started to accept routine is my kind of adventure. I started to actually accept those things as real, as true. But I think I, as well as probably you, have kind of outgrown that, that idea that fear gets to set the bar or the baseline. I think I'm starting to realize, and I hope you are too, that waiting for fear to vanish is a losing way to play this game. Okay, so now we kind of, we realize that fear is holding the pen, it's controlling our lives. There's no point waiting for fear to disappear because it's not going to. It's no longer, we're gonna accept the fact that's not our baseline anymore. But the question is how? How do we move forward? How do we take the next step? How? How do we actually start before we're ready? That's the question. And I think you have to start by auditing your standards. You have to ask yourself, what are you currently tolerating that the future version of you, that awesome, better version of you that's just around the corner, waiting for you, what are you tolerating that future version of you wouldn't tolerate? I mean, obviously, we can get real big picture here, but we can also start really small, like lack of sleep or not eating good food. Like the future version of you that's having all these awesome adventures and has this great life purpose and all that kind of stuff, would that future version of you tolerate eating like crappy food or like staying awake, doom scrolling on social media and stuff like that? I think about it, like I try to think of myself, and yeah, like I think my future version of myself would be sad for me. I really do. And I don't want to disappoint the future versions of me, for lack of better words. So for me, I kind of look at this as small, consistent changes is what I'm trying to go for. I'm not trying to do crazy big things. I think doing crazy big things make it, police sirens. Hopefully it's nothing serious. I live in a very big city, so you constantly hear noise like that. I live in a downtown area, so it's very common for me to hear sirens at all hours of the day. But anyways, back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Totally forgot. Oh yeah, I was saying that I don't do big, crazy changes. I don't think that's a good strategy for rebuilding a life. I like small little transformations. And for me, I'm all about standard shifts, little standard shifts adding up to huge change over time. 1% changes. So I think I'm gonna start with like, what are my physical standards, right? I think that's an easy enough place to start. So for me, one of the physical standards I started to shift was trying to move every day. Go for walks, do this, do that. And one of the things I landed on, because I actually hurt my back a little while ago and I couldn't do anything crazy, was taking the stairs. And I've consistently been taking the stairs for weeks now. And honest to God, I can feel the difference. I'm at the point now where taking the stairs is part of who I am in my daily routine. And I honestly, as weird as it sounds, man, I honestly, to be totally honest with you, feel guilty when I don't take the stairs. So I try to take the stairs very often. And I think that's an example of a standard shift that's working for me. Another thing that I think we can all take a look at as like a standard shift, there's movement. Another one is curiosity. Very, very easy. Like pick something that you're curious about this week and like Google it or research it. For me, I work in a very technical field, so luckily for me, I have tons of that kind of stuff I can do every day. And I don't think I'm lacking in that, but I feel that it's kind of all in one kind of bubble or one kind of type of knowledge. So now I'm trying to find things that are completely outside of my body of knowledge, the things I professionally do anyways, and try to learn more about that, a language, a culture, a country, just something that I'm curious about, and I Google it and I'll spend 10, 20 minutes just reading about it. I think stuff like that demystifies the world. I think if you can say, hey, this is my health standards and I'm sticking to it and I'm improving one step at a time, you cannot deny that you're getting healthier. And you getting healthier is the proof that it works. If you have a curiosity standard that you try to learn one new thing a week or whatever the case is, the world becomes smaller and bigger and more exciting all at the same time. And you cannot deny that you are a participant, you exist, you're contributing, you're learning about the space around you and the people and cultures around you and the science and all kinds of crazy stuff. Like you're part of it. I've talked before about like as you get older, it feels like you're fading. And I think this is proof that you're not fading. I think this is how you start to make your standards not negotiable. Just like with the stairs, it's not negotiable, I take the stairs. And there's no room for fear to kind of creep in there and override it. I'm gonna be honest with you. There are days when, like, especially because of my commute, there are days when I gotta go through like 7 or 8 flights of stairs in a row. I'm a little winded by the time I get to the top. And when I first started doing it, I felt like, I don't want to say a loser, but I definitely felt out of shape, right? And now I don't care. 1, I know I'm getting in better shape. And 2, I'm making improvements and it's my life, not theirs. What I'm trying to say, and I don't know if I'm doing the best delivery here or not, but what I'm trying to say is I want you to know that it's okay to be afraid. But you still have to keep moving forward. You don't need the fear to disappear to make incredible changes and redesign your life. It's not required. You can do two of them at the same time. You can be moving forward and still be scared. I think you just need to decide, like we all have to decide. I've decided. You just need to decide that you are going to accept a higher standard of adventure and health and curiosity. Like you're just gonna accept that. That's just who you are. Look, man, we're in this together. I'm doing this too. One step at a time. 1% better, 1% change at a time. One experiment at a time. And before you go, do this one thing for yourself. Determine one standard for yourself that you're ready to rise. Like you're ready to take that up to the next level. Write it down so you don't forget and make it real. And then please tell me in the comments, because I'm curious as to what people are doing and how they're doing it and what's working for other people that could work for me too. So let's build a life you really want to live together. I'll see you in the next video with some more experiments, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Take care. Bye for now.